Welcome, everybody, to our event, My Life, My Business. Wish I was here. And this room is all about talking about the things that bring us enjoyment of our lives and the way we pursue our careers or business or any organization or the way we pursue our goals. But in the pursuit of that, it's about that journey that we're enjoying. Now, last week we introduced a topic called "Feeling Less Busy While Getting More Done," inspired by the book "Off the Clock" by Laura van der Kam. So, just to recap very quickly, a few things summarized from that talk last week was track your time for a week and see whether or not your activities line up in a way that makes your journey special and enjoyable. Plan in little adventures, which you are deliberate to make your hours memorable by filling them with exciting moments. And of course, the good old favorite, practice saying no to all distractions. Slow down, stop rushing, take time to celebrate and savor the good moments. And lastly, schedule time for friends in your diary. And that's what we discussed last week. If you want to go and listen to the podcast, you can access the Mufasa coaching practice on YouTube and listen to the podcast. So without further ado, joining me as usual is Shanaz, and can't wait to hear what Shanaz has got to offer this afternoon. Over to you.
Hi, thank you, Jacques. I was so inspired last week. There's so many little things that I got out of it, and it was definitely motivating Monday. And I think what I was left thinking about was how much time do we spend with our families and loved ones, and do we know? And I think I remember saying that in the work that I do. It comes naturally for us in social sciences to sociology, psychology, to talk about relationships and to talk about the benefits that they bring to our lives and the wellness in a sense that we get from it. And I said that I tend to find it a challenge to to show this and indicate how important relationships really are for your success in the end, whether you are in business, whether you are in the corporate world, or in any field, and you are leading an organization, for example. And so I wanted to talk just a little bit about that. And I thought that I'll call it powerful relationships equal powerful partnerships. And the reason why I kind of took that was because I was inspired by Michelle Obama and Barack Obama's relationship, where they were both equal. But I really believe that he, his success in politics was definitely due to the quality of their relationships. And so, what I want to mention is about why are relationships then important for our success outside of the relationship? So, our success in the business world, our success in the things that we do outside of our families. And our general well-being. So our relationships are important because, and I got this also from a favorite psychotherapist who is written on relationships, and I use a lot of her work. Her name's Margot Sunderland. I use a lot of her work when I'm training social workers or those working with children, but also adults when I'm working with adults. And so she says that relationships are important because we see the world as a place where we don't have to go it alone. We also Relationships are also important, and I love this because we are able to love in peace. So in other words, we are able to then accept that unconditional love. We are able to give unconditional love. And you know what, when we are able to kind of wrap our heads around that, the amazing thing that she also adds is we are then bold in our expectations of the world. And why I want to put emphasis on we are then bold in our expectations of the world is that suddenly when we have these quality relationships in our life, these powerful relationships in our life, we our expectations of ourselves and what we are able to achieve tends to be unlimited. And I think that when I look at powerful partnerships, maybe you know a powerful partnership, in your family, or even in the business world. And as I said, I was inspired by Michelle Obama and Barack Obama's relationship, how just his success and how key their relationship, because I read her biography, um, how key their relationship was. And so this idea, and what Margot Sunderland also says, is that when we have been loved as a child, or we understand and we have high quality relationships, suddenly we start to value our relationships. We value our intimate relationships, and what we do with our high quality relationships is that we use it to refuel ourselves, and we put ourselves back together after times of stress. And what I see time and time again is that when we do not have these powerful partnerships or powerful relationships in our life, we are unable to put ourselves back together after a loss, after a tragedy, or just stressful times. And the people who come and see me are often either isolated, or they are struggling in their relationships. And so and that then has a knock-on effect on their success in their work life, for example. And so it is really important then to kind of think about, um and make that time, as you said, for these relationships. She says where we can get comfort for our big feelings. And often as adults, we've got to work regularly with big feelings. So, big feelings are the worries, the fear, the shame, the sadness, the anger, and even joy. And so, relationships then mitigate and help us and bring comfort, when you're facing that big interview, when you are facing maybe needing to cut down on something, or make really important decisions that affect the lives of others. Relationships come in and they provide a space where we can get comfort from. And then what you also find is that most people who are resilient have quality relationships in their lives. And you actually find that the ones who are not resilient, one of the features that they lack then is high quality relationships. And so when we kind of think about it, I also, when I do this training, I also talk about why this is so powerful, is that I also say relationship changes brains. And so one of my another favorite author of mine, Dr. Leaf, I often laugh when I read what she says, because I'm always interested in the brain, as you know. And she says that when we are spending time with love, brain surgery, literally we are starting to are producing these happy, start to have these relationships that actually are high quality relationships. They activate us. They activate it's called the seeking system. So our interest and our curiosity, right? So in other words, we'll suddenly then want to do more. We'll want to achieve more. We'll be curious about life instead of just accepting things, as they are. Another thing that it does, it activates when we have these high quality relationships. It helps us to activate this idea to explore the world and to experiment. So in other words, it helps us to take risks. So that is why she says when we have these high quality relationships, we are bold in our expectations. And I often find that when I observe children, even, and I remember this, I was listening to the story of this dad who was watching his little daughter go up the sliding, the slide, at the park. And he was watching her, and she was climbing the steps, and he thought, okay, he's going to watch her and then see how far she gets. And then what then actually happened was that she was too scared to go further. She turns around, she looks at him, and she calls him. And what then happens is he walks behind her up the little steps so that she can slide down. And as soon as he's walking behind her, she becomes more bold. And what then happens is, because dad is behind her, she actually goes down the slide. Yet just before that, she was quite afraid. So, in that way, you can see that not only then does it provide us with this, it gives us this ability to take risk, but it also then helps us to kind of it helps us cognitively, it helps us socially, and it helps our emotional development. So high quality relationships then is really an excellent tool for building success in your life. And I think that often we don't think of it in that way in the corporate space, because often I think in the corporate space and where I've been exposed, other things are viewed as the success to achieving success. But yet something as every day as high quality relationships can make such a major impact on our success. And I think that it is really important that we think about how we spend time with, and how we spend time with our loved ones, but that we start to foster high quality relationships so that they bring on those important and those powerful partnerships that can really take us to the next level of our success. It can take your business to the next level of success, and also the kinds of decisions you make. And so let us not then underestimate high quality relationships. And you'll find, I think I've mentioned it before, what you find is that when you look in prison, for example, and they do those brain scans, you'll find that most of the prisoners, when they did the study many years ago on quality relationships, they found that some of the people who committed these really over the top crimes, the front part of the brain that's responsible for kind of relationship and emotional intelligence was small in comparison to the rest of the population. And that's because they lacked high quality relationships when they were growing up. But this is something that can be fostered. So the key then for me, coming from my background to your success, really then lies in high quality partnerships and high quality relationships. So yeah, that's what I have for today.
Wow, that is profound, though. No, I'm not going to add anything to that. And you know, so it brings us, to the end of this conversation today, and I think it's no more fitting place to leave it at that and say, well, if you enjoy doing things on your own, we are not judging that. We are encouraging you to embrace high quality relationships. Find them, foster them, because whatever you're doing now, exponentially, it's going to be much better. Exponentially, you suddenly realize that you're up for the marathon called life, rather than getting tired with short, sharp sprints all the time and wanting to give up. So, Shanaz, thank you so much we are definitely going to take little bits and pieces of this and do something about it. And you know what? We know that you are serious about this if you begin to schedule it in your diary. Want to meet so and so every week at such and such a time, and then you have the discipline to execute and keep that promise to yourself and to the other person or persons. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shanaz.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacques. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.